Sound production. What is going on, y'all? This is Sir Yeetus. I am here. I just had to take a quick leak, right quick. I'm not late, Midtown, God damn it! All right, I'm good. I'm good in the neighborhood. Welcome to my domain. So, today is going to be a chill stream. I ain't going to be focusing on any topics per se, or I'm not really going to be honing on something in particular. This will be the chance for everybody that's in the live stream in the chat have the chance to ask questions or want to call in, which I will be putting the link right now into the chat. If you want to ask anything that's MGTOW or Red Pill related, you want to call in about it, definitely come in. If you guys don't see my my GIF right here, if you guys don't see that, then you won't hear me because I'm not even in the live stream. Just to put it out there. That background picture is just there just because. But once you see my awesome GIF because you guys' donations, then I'm in the live stream. But we're gonna start inviting people right now. One of them is the one, the only producer Tim.
Well, actually, there's like 3 of me.
Yeah, I don't know how many, you like multiply you, Big Time Podcast, which I assume is you.
Yeah, it's always me. I managed, again, for the 1,000th time, I manage the socials for the show. So whenever you see them pop up randomly, it's me because I always forget to change accounts.
So you have like 3, 4, 5 different accounts that you can just pop in out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah. Hell, I could even pull in my own soundboard on a different account right now.
So if you wanted to, you can troll somebody.
Oh, absolutely. Like how we all said in the chat, we couldn't hear you.
Right. I'm like, hey, I'm not even in yet. Once you guys see that cool shit right there, with the GIF right there, then I'm in. If not, I'm gone like Houdini. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. I'm gonna add one more person. What's going on, Gray?
Hey, yeah, doing all right. Had an early dinner, just chilling out. Actually, got a bit of art to work on this evening, so doing that in the background.
All right, good. Okay, I want the familiar faces to be in the live stream because we're gonna be answering various topics and questions and call-ins. It's gonna be whatever. It's gonna be free for all.
Can we do a Cards Against Humanity game?
You said that I play Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah, absolutely. Although the good one, not the shitty cucked original one.
I did the one. I know I did the updated one, and the other one, it was memes. If you guys know which one that's called, it's like Cards Against Humanity, but it involves memes.
Put it this way: any game that doesn't let you do blank cards is cucked and not worth it.
But it does get bad. I felt a little bit embarrassed playing with my parents, just a little bit.
Oh, we were playing. I don't think you guys know who Kiwi Farms Ken Jennings is. I don't think you know who that is.
No.
Okay. We were playing with him the other day, last weekend, and it was a riot. There were nonstop Anne Frank jokes.
Okay.
Literally every single card had someone typing in an Anne Frank joke.
What's up, you guys, against Anne Frank? What is this?
Look, see for yourself. Oh no, I had to private the stream so we didn't get. I called the stream "Getting Susaned Speed Run Any Percent."
Hey, good Anne Frank jokes. They're hard to find, but worth it.
Yeah, you can find them at the bottom of the ash tray.
Oh, I thought you had to look upstairs.
Damn, bro.
Getting Susan speed run.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyways, I had to pull that stream down because I want to host it somewhere that isn't going to jeopardize any of our other channels. And I'm too lazy to put it up on MGTOW.tv, but that's where we'll put it because it's hilarious.
Is Susan Jewish?
I mean,
Probably.
have you seen
Most
the size of
likely.
her nose?
Yeah, that's the only indication, but I didn't want to assume.
And I'll check Wikipedia. Early life history is what people usually go to.
She believes in a flying
She's a
spaghetti
Jewish
monster.
immigrant. You know, the only reason she got that job is because when Larry Page and that other guy started Google, it was in her garage.
Oh, really? Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah, Susan Diane Wojcicki, born on July 5th, 1968, to Esther Wojcicki, an educator of Jewish descent.
All right. I'm not surprised at all.
She might be Polish.
No, her
Polish
father
Jewish.
her father's Polish, her mom's Jewish.
So Wojcicki would be her father's name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that is a Polish name if I've ever heard
Yeah,
one.
Stanley Wojcicki, Polish-American physics professor at Stanford.
And then the only way to pass Jewish heritage is through your mother.
Oh.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
No, I did not.
No, in order to be like an ethnic Jew, your mother line has to be all Jewish. You can't get it from your father.
Oh, so they're way more strict than Native Americans, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
You have to be at least, I think, 25%, I think, around there. To be
Well, in
considered-
Canada, okay, so everything's kosher if both your parents have status cards. Now, if only one parent has a status card, which is like our Indian registration system,
Right.
if only one of your parents has a status card, they marry someone who doesn't, then your immediate children can have status cards, but their children cannot unless they marry back into someone with a status card.
Well, shit, I think I'm close enough to being Native
Yeah,
American
so-
in the States because I was able to visit the reservations.
Yeah, so it's not actually a percentage or any DNA that you need to prove. It all depends on who your parents were and whether they were registered in the database.
So in Canada, it all depends on the registry.
Yeah.
I think
Now,
that's the more
take one look at
plausible-
me, and DNA wise, I'm clearly at least 50%.
Oh, when I did that not the last live stream, but the New Year's live stream, I'm like, he has to be Native or Jewish, one of them. Oh, somewhere.
Everyone thinks I'm Mexican.
like somewhere in the. I thought you had some background in the Middle East.
Yeah, that was weird. You're like you're the second person who said that to me. It's weird. It's really weird that they think Middle East.
Because you have like you have a light complexion, but you have like curly hair and stuff. They're like,
Here, I'll flip the webcam on and I can show you. I don't care. Here, let me just close the curtain behind me so you don't see my bed.
you cool showing yourself?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Chad, that's what I thought when I first saw. I thought he had some background in the Middle East. I was completely wrong. I was wrong.
Which cam? Turn that one on. That's me.
Right, and at first, wait, did you cut your hair?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's about to say, like, wait a minute.
We'll flip that down. But
It was mainly the hair that kind of it told me like, okay, he probably has Middle Eastern background. But now that I see it, I'm like, okay, he's probably from New Mexico or somewhere around that area.
Yep.
He's from LA.
here, I'll kill that just in case.
You don't want Susan getting you like,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Oh God, facial recognition doesn't even work on my people. And it's funny because Tim is not my real name. Producer Tim is actually a joke, a callback to like the early morning sports program here in Canada. It's simply called the Sports Network, TSN. And the two on-air personalities would always blame their technical fuck-ups on someone they called Producer Tim.
Really?
Yeah. So that's actually where it goes to.
Kind of like how It's a Gundam yells at Stu all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Kind of like.
Yeah.
So
I know
Drex
he
yells
was
at me all the time.
Now that's now when he had longer hair.
Yeah. When I had the curly hair, which is that's a drawing of me that one of our artists did for our thumbnail. That's when I had curly hair.
Right. And with that hair that I saw, you know, because he had a little bit of hair last time I talked to him, I'm like, all right, Middle Eastern complexion. But now that he cut it short, now I'm seeing some Hispanic in him.
Yeah, but it's actually just Native American. It's you're wrong on all fronts.
Well, yeah, but you see, I'm talking about just perspective.
Yeah. If you find any, someone asked if I slimmed down. Not by choice.
Well, to be fair,
Christmas
like, if
was
you
a
think
month
about
ago.
it, like both like Native Americans and like the Aztecs do share common ancestry because they all were part of that mass migration across the Bering Strait.
Yes, and the Inuit and the Mongolians share a common ancestor.
Well, yeah,
They're split being at the alleged land bridge, which is the current theory as to how our people migrated 25,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's plausible enough. I think
Yeah,
they
it's
actually
plausible.
tracked it like all the way from like North Africa, kind of all the way along the southern coast of Asia, all the way up to the Bering Strait, and then it's like,
Yeah,
back
so
during some kind of ice age, they just hopped over and then spent 10,000 years populating North and South America.
I think it was 22,000 years ago, I think, is the currently accepted timeline. I know they've been finding really, really old artifacts further out east and up in the north as the glaciers recede. So we were definitely here when the Vikings crossed the Atlantic. We kicked their ass.
I don't think the Aztecs came from Arizona or New Mexico.
Well, no, the Aztecs are the same migration. The range of the Aztecs was southern United States through Central America, because they're the native people of Mexico.
But where's the main? I forgot what the name of the place was. Where do they? Where's their HQ or their capital city?
Well, they were tribalistic, just like the Native Americans, so they don't have a capital city. They have a very, very
right. Where's
large
the highest concentration?
Well, Mexico. Aztecs are native Mexicans.
Yeah. But
so to speak.
I'm wrong. OGIT, they migrated to Arizona or New Mexico. I agree. But the main concentration is definitely in Mexico.
Yeah, I would look. Someone said Polynesian. I would look. I could be mistaken for Polynesian. I could see that. I don't think I have as dark a complexion as they do. So someone from like Samoa or the French Polynesian Islands.
Well, you got like 10,000, 20,000 years of genetic variation. You're going to get some distinct groups of people.
Hey, Producer Tim. So no one cares said the South Americans had large cities.
Yeah, that's the Inca, not the Aztecs.
So even though they were similar per se, not too similar, but similar enough, Aztecs still had their own thing somewhere else. So,
I know a lot less about the Aztecs and the Inca than I do Native Americans. I don't know if they're actually descended from the same people. It's possible the Inca migrated from some other landmass.
It was the Aztecs. Where did the Mayans come from again? Was it Mexico as well, or was it somewhere else?
I think the Mayans are also South America. Like one is east side and the other is west side.
Who's the one that's like sacrificing people to the sun god every day?
I think that was the Aztecs.
Aztecs.
Yeah, no, the Inca are more like in South America, kind of where Brazil is, whereas the Aztecs were more in Mexico. So basically, either side of the Panama Canal.
Either way, they're savage as fuck.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yes, and Native Americans had what you would figure to be a city as well, especially along coastal regions where they established permanent fishing settlements.
But yeah,
Now,
either way though, in the end, I wouldn't fuck with the Aztecs or the Inca, but mainly the Aztecs.
Oh no. The indigenous people you didn't want to fuck with was the Iroquois Confederation, which was a treaty of 6 nations coming together to form a massive native army.
When was this?
They took on the Mi'kmaq and the French in the Beaver War, the Great Beaver War.
When was this?
Oh God, 1600s.
I never knew this. Okay.
I think it was late 1600s.
Yeah, 1570 is when it started.
Oh,
yeah, this is all new
late
to me.
1500s.
1500s
Yeah, so before America was
is
a
the
country.
16th century. Yeah,
I never heard about
1570
any
to
type of allegiance going on.
yeah, 1570 to 1784 apparently. Thank you.
Yeah, the Great Beaver War. That how Canadian.
Hey, Jow WW, I thought you were gonna call in. I'm literally spamming the link right now. Call in. Me, maybe producer Tim and Gray. If you have any topic you wanna talk
I
about,
want to get a
right
cards
quick,
game
be
going.
down. Like, since nobody wants to talk about anything Red Pill MGTOW for some reason,
Oh, we
that's
do that
why
all the
we're
time.
talking about some Aztec shit because that's cool as fuck.
Well,
Yeah, you get to learn stuff. Fuck, I've got some buddies around here, IRL, that they know everything there is to know about war. They're like war nerds, right? They took history as their undergrad, and they know everything there is to know about all wars. No, the French Indian Wars are a different set of wars. The French Indian Wars was part of the 7-Year War.
Oh, I love history. History is my shit. But the fact that I never even learned about the gigantic alliance that the Native Americans had.
Yeah, so the
I got
Iroquois
one.
was aligned with the British. So they were part of the Loyalist Redcoats when America tried to become its own country, the War of Independence. And the Iroquois was against you.
Did we have to fight Native Americans?
Oh, you absolutely did. Man,
They
have you played
never-
Assassin's Creed 3?
Yeah, with what's his name? Fucking
Connor.
Connor. I didn't want to mispronounce. Okay, yeah, Connor.
Yeah, oh, and by the way, I cannot read because that is, I believe Connor is Huron or Algonquin. I can look it up in Wikipedia really quickly. But
he is half native, right?
Well, he was half native. And he was raised by his mother in a tribe. So
that's why he's able to bob and weave so well. Bob and weave.
That's also why he's an expert tracker.
That too. The one people I would not want to piss off are like Native Americans, like back then, and Aztecs back then. Because once again, like, let's say me right now, I like with my knowledge right now, there's no way I'd be able to survive with them. Okay, if I had a gun, maybe, but if I didn't, I'm fucked. Like, hell, they have these technologies where they blow like some type of instrument into the woods where it sounds like somebody screaming in agony to scare the enemies.
Well, we tell stories.
Savage, bro. Huh?
We tell stories like the Wendigo.
Oh,
Is that what it's called?
The Wendigo.
The Wendigos, they're basically the cannibal Bigfoot of, like, basically they're kind of a metaphor for why you shouldn't eat human flesh, because basically you become an immortal monster that is basically as immortal, aside from they're kind of like werewolves too, because I think they've got, is it like a silver bullet you need to shoot them with to take them out? Have to double check that.
No, that would be inconsistent with our teachings. We had no metal available to us before colonization.
Yeah. No,
So
like
that
fire's a weakness. I'm just trying to see. I heard that there was
Yeah, absolutely fire. Now
Oh,
that
yeah,
might
silver.
sound easy.
Silver's apparently another
That-
apparently vulnerable to fire, silver, and Anansi symbols.
Oh, okay. We
Yeah.
did not have silver before colonization, so that had to have been a recent thing. The fire one makes sense though, because you would think, oh, all I have to do is take a burning stick with me everywhere I go. But clearly, you have not tried to survive in the Canadian tundra in the middle of winter, trying to keep a stick lit on fire.
Give me 1 second, y'all. Yeetus, do you think the Taliban will invade North America? No. They can do some guerrilla warfare type stuff like they usually do, and try to bomb a few buildings here and there, but they ain't gonna go on a full-on invasion because
is the
they'll
Taliban.
be destroyed before they even. Huh?
How do you tell the Taliban apart from any other Afghan?
You can't, because they're just like the people.
Exactly.
Because if
anything, the Taliban is like a political
ISIS
movement.
when I was in the military.
If anything, the Taliban is like the Tea Party.
But even then, they're not gonna invade. Hell no. They're not gonna do it.
Although, just because we didn't have modern like silver guns or anything doesn't mean we can't kick ass. So we were still using stone arrows and spears when the Vikings came over. And the Vikings came over in two main waves. The first wave was mostly peaceful trading, according to CNN. I'm glad they got a laugh out of someone.
What about?
No, but it was.
What the fuck?
But it was mostly
Really?
peaceful. There was an incident at the very end when mostly the Vikings left because they can't handle our weather. Our winters are too harsh for them, and they didn't know the land very well.
Yeah.
Well, that's not surprising. Yeah.
Well, they're a raiding party, right? And because of the mobile nature of our tribes, we didn't have a lot of permanent establishments, so there was nothing for them to raid. So they're like, shit, we got to survive on our own out here, and we know nothing about the land. So we're just going to go back to Greenland.
What do you mean some guy eating a human brain for an article? What are you talking about?
Well,
that's fucking gross.
Then the second wave came over, and we got into quite a few battles with them, and we could always hit and run them. Their armor was not strong enough to stop our stone arrows from penetrating, and we kicked them off the land.
Oh, sorry. I actually found the thing on that. So yeah, CNN's Reza Aslan sparks outrage after eating human brain in new show. It tastes like, quote, charcoal.
Oh,
yeah. I would never. First off, I think the human body itself is highly eating that type of meat, the human meat. I don't think your body will be able to take it well anyway.
Well, no, specifically the brains are where you get the cannibal crazies from what I understand. The rest of it, you can. Like, people have Donner Party. But, yeah, we're so full of toxins, it's probably not a good idea in general.
But come on, y'all.
Next, Tim will say his tribe was the story
right
of
now.
Pocahontas.
Red Pill and MGTOW. Right now. Or we're just going to go off. We're going to go off the deep end. That's the whole point of this Chillstream.
I do have like bit of Red Pill MGTOW stuff if we do want to focus on that. Because I caught Stardusk's video earlier.
Who?
Thinking Ape, Stardusk.
Not TFM?
No, Stardusk, Thinking Ape.
I don't know who that is, but
he's spoken of being black pill. Imagine someone with the grounding of TFM, but a lot more chill.
Okay, what was his video about?
Well, a lot of it was to do with like kind of the modern red pill like grifter culture, but he also went into a lot of the blinders of the normies and the chads. They pulled up an interview between like one of those kind of guru guys and one dude who's like your stereotypical Chad, and that the Chad literally cannot process what life is like for a non-Chad.
That's true. I agree.
But that's interesting because I don't know if anyone catches V's stuff. Anyone? V ring a bell?
You said V?
V-E-E.
No.
Oh shit!
Right.
That was a D&D character I played.
Oh, nice. Yeah, no. He's a Eastern European YouTuber. Talks about a variety of subjects, some gaming, but a fair bit of political or just social stuff. And he was talking about this one post on 4chan about people with sub 100 IQs and how they can't understand hypothetical questions. Like if you ask somebody, how would you have felt yesterday if you hadn't eaten breakfast or lunch? They will respond with, what are you talking about? I had breakfast and lunch yesterday. Like they won't be able to process the concept of a hypothetical scenario.
Is that related to people who don't have an inner monologue?
I think it's somewhat related. Yes. I don't know exactly how related, but it's that same sort of idea in that same realm.
So they can't comprehend hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the thing. I'm kind of wondering, that got me thinking, because seeing these two videos somewhat close together, it's like how much of that is a part of these chads, or people in general not being able to perceive the world from a perspective that is not theirs, because that would seem related. Someone can't process a hypothetical. They can't think, well, hypothetically, if I wasn't over 6 foot and didn't own multiple properties and wasn't famous from being on TV, what would life be like?
I see what you're saying, man, especially when it comes to these chads. Of course, well, Chad and Tyrone, of course, they will have a very difficult time or can't comprehend at all of how it is to be the average man, because throughout their lives, they never had to lift a finger to get women. And then those type of Chad and Tyrones will turn around to be PUAs. It's like, you need to cold approach him, tell them how it is, and then you're gonna get the girl. All right, listen to my courses.
Just be yourself, bro. I was like, yeah, sorry. It's a little bit more than confidence. How about you make a new Tinder profile where you use your photos of some schmuck and don't release any personal information about yourself? Kind of like how, like when a woman decides like, oh, I'm totally great at socializing. Here, I'll show you how it's done. Uses like her brother's profile or something, and then is just shocked. Absolutely shocked.
Yeah, because for a woman, at least for socializing to date, most women can't comprehend having any type of game. That's why most women, in my opinion, are horrible at flirting. They're just trash because they're used to all their lives men approaching them.
Well, that's the thing. I kind of wonder how much of that is the same for the Chads.
Yeah, like I said before, Chads cannot comprehend what's it called? Having to go. Well, they can slightly comprehend, but the magnitude between the Chad and the average person is ginormous. Of course, the Chad Tyrone, once in a blue moon, will still have to approach a woman, but it'll be easy as taking candy from taking candy from a lizard.
Down syndrome baby.
Don't ask. You're down. Okay, yeah, let's go with that. It's that easy, And if a Chad Tyrone is going through that all his life, say like, you know what? All you need to do is just go up to them, bro. You need to have that confidence, man. You need to go out there, quit being a little bitch, and go out there and talk to a woman, tell her how it is, man. Have that confidence. She will definitely fall in love with you. I agree, Gray. Chad and Tyrones also can't comprehend what the average man has to do. because the average man literally has to literally work literally to death at times to get approval from a woman. Like literally
Nope.
to death, an average man has to work to try to get some type of approval.
No One Cares brought up a pretty good question. Talk about how feminism has destroyed the natives. It's a little bit up. Hang on, I gotta find a comment. Why can't I scroll? There we go. Tim, tell us how feminism has specifically affected natives. I can give you an allegory because natives are entirely dependent on the government for everything, for survival, for resources, infrastructure, care. We are 100% reliant on the government. And guess what? Reserve life sucks. Would you guys expect that if you had a group of people who are 100% reliant on the government to exist, that their life would suck and be miserable?
Their standards of picking a man will go down 90% if they do not have the government.
And that means domestic violence is very high. Native families can have 8 kids by 5 different dads. They're all fat as fuck. And their suicide rate among teenagers is like 25%.
Now, that's interesting because TFM actually had a brief video, like on, at least it touched on the natives at one point, and the variations of success. Now, this is U.S. natives, not Canadian natives. The Canadian natives, as far as I understand, are thoroughly fucked. But there's some U.S. ones, and their success rate their success and wealth is inversely correlated to how much welfare they receive from the government.
Yeah,
of course.
American natives get less government support than Canadian ones. Canadian natives are the blacks of Canada. So think of BLM, right? All of the attention that African Americans get is the same attention that Native Canadians get. We have the Idle No More movement, which is similar to BLM.
I see what you're saying, man. And to the chat, Native American women or not, all women, they rely on the government. Okay. But more women rely on the government more than others. But take away the government tomorrow. These women's expectations and their reality delusional reality will be crumbling down into pieces because men, whether there's government or not, we have no choice but to still learn how to survive because we have no safety nets. So if the same thing happens to women and these women can't hold on to a man when that happens, they're gonna have a miserable time or they're gonna die right after.
And there's a lesson to be learned from this because some red pill people delude themselves into thinking that, once it gets bad enough, everyone will just come to their senses and everything will be great. Everything will be fine, right? The hard times create strong men create good times. We can parrot that because we're all parrots, right? The natives prove that's not true. Everything sucks. Everything about the reserve sucks. It's shitty. They still live in it. They're like, oh yeah, we still want the government. No. It doesn't matter that we're miserable and swallowing Prozac by the handful or Xanax. And it doesn't matter that we're self-eating at a rate of 1/4 of our people. None of it matters. We still want to live this way because we still want daddy government to take care of us. So if you want to see the parallels you can draw from our plight to the greater manosphere, it's how incorrect the assumption is that once the collapse happens, everything will just get better. It won't.
It's going to be a long time, a very long time, if that, if things get better. But it's not, like what producer Tim is saying, it's not going to be just all right, I guess you learn your lessons, ladies and simps. Let's start over and, Let's go back to the good times. No,
Well,
And it's not simple enough to teach one generation of kids and be like, oh, okay, look, yeah, your mom and dad lives suck. Do you know the rate of domestic violence on native reserves affects the children too? Gets them addicted to drugs, gets them addicted to alcohol, gets them pregnant at 14.
oh, I know alcohol on Native American reserves is the number one killer.
No, actually, the number one killer of Native women is Native men.
Well, I'm just saying the United States. I know that's the biggest I've seen. I didn't say I didn't look at any surveys or anything, but for what I've seen is literally hardcore men. I don't know about the women, but at least Native American men and children at times dealing with alcoholism, going to the point where liver cirrhosis, whatever it's called. Like it's either alcohol or casinos. Like it's it gets pretty bad. At least what from I've seen. I'm not saying that you're wrong, Tim. You have the stats and stuff, but alcoholism is definitely bad from what I've seen.
And it's not just beer.
No, it's
natives
not,
will drink anything that has alcohol content. So the joke is we always drink mouthwash.
I was just about to say it. I saw somebody drinking Listerine.
Yeah, Listerine doesn't have alcohol anymore, so it'd have to be the store brand mouthwash. Oh,
Right.
Geez, excuse me.
Actually, some northern towns, like the pharmacies straight up have to close early because they'll just buy like medicinal alcohol, water it down a bit, and drink that.
So you talk about the rubbing alcohol, right?
Yeah, but it's not even.
You can't drink rubbing alcohol. Don't do that.
Not straight.
Yeah, but
like,
you know how like
people
they
will.
just get that desperate. And
Hand sanitizer.
Yeah, hand sanitizer. I was just gonna mention that too. Damn it, you guys are ahead. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so yeah, we fire water bad. We get it. All that stuff. LOM is right. It is a slow burn, and you won't fix it just by pointing to little Jimmy and little Timmy and saying, "Hey, your dad's life sucks. Don't be like that." It's a multi-generational thing. It takes decades to get people out of that cycle of poverty.
Well, I think this is the one thing where
guys,
feel free to
before you continue, I'm gonna add one person. Because I'm sure Working Dude has something to say about that. Working Dude.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Going good. We're gonna let Gray finish his thought, then we'll go to you. All right? Because I'm sure Working Dude has something to say about that. Working Dude.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Going good. We're gonna let Gray finish his thought. That lag though. All right?
Okay,
that's the
sounds
YouTube
good.
20 seconds.
But we'll let you talk when the time comes. Gray, go for it.
Tim, feel free to correct me on this because you probably have more in-depth knowledge on it than I do. But I think part of the reason for a lot of the native problems is because they still have the option. And I do think you're right that the collapse won't immediately solve things. But when you take away the option of government assistance and force everyone to be on their own, first, yes, there's going to be a lot of dead people. That's kind of comes with the territory. But when there is no welfare option, people will be forced to be better or die.
But because history will disagree with you there. History is just full of piles of dead bodies. And the Trail of Tears is a good example of that, where, we are... Yeah, we are people who are accustomed to living off the land. So who's to say we couldn't just, instead of the forced migration west through the Ohio Valley, why couldn't we just break off and go live in the bushes? Well, because we love being told what to do. We always have. What is it? Decision fatigue. You've heard of that, right?
Yes.
When you have too many choices, you will make no decisions at all.
Yep. I tell my soldiers, hey, leave me alone. Let me think. Just leave me alone. Just let me figure something out.
So, now humans in general have this trait. We all have a level of, I'm not using the correct terminology, but I'll call it decision fatigue. We all have a level of choices that start to overwhelm our decision-making process.
Yep.
And I'm not attributing to any racial or educational background. Everyone's just an individual with a different limit. Cool. A lot of people do have a lower limit. And that means that if you give them a seemingly infinite number of choices, such as, okay, I'm going to run away from this bad situation and go live on my own in the compound, that is intimidating to a lot of people. It, like TFM says, right? Go to the compound, lock yourself in, and live your life. Okay, that is intimidating to a lot of people who suffer from decision fatigue. Because you'll get there and you'll be like, I don't know what to do first. Do I build my shelter? Do I build my outhouse? Do I go look for food? Do I go get water? Right? They can't prioritize and categorize. And so all that evidence together seems to indicate that given the choice to live on reserve under the government's umbrella or get off reserve and go make your own life, most would prefer to stay under the government's boot because the government tells them what to do. I'll give you a good parallel. People who get released from prison, who spent 10 years in prison, and suddenly they're on their own in the world and they panic. They don't know what to do. So they'll go into a store, steal something, and get sent back to prison. Because there, they were told when to wake up, when to eat, when to exercise.
Similar to the military as well. Once you get out, you're on your own. Nobody's telling you what to do anymore. So a lot of people, they're like, yeah, fuck this civilian life. And they'll go back and re-enlist.
Paralysis by analysis. Yeah, I like that one.
That's the big thing. Prison and military are very big, good examples of decision fatigue.
Oh, public
Because-
schools too.
What?
Hey, you remember getting a snow day or any kind of day off school that you didn't expect? And then maybe by 11 o'clock, you were like, I'm bored. I don't know what to do.
In high school, hell yeah.
Well, high school doesn't count because you'd have a lot more independence and you'd have more
talking
stuff
about
to do.
college.
Like you always have like a project or studying or something you could be doing, right? I would imagine like around grade 4, grade 5, if you had an
around there.
unexpected day off of school, you'd spend maybe 2-3 hours playing video games and then you'd get bored. You wouldn't know what to do.
Well, actually, I
Because
even
again,
see that
it was
a lot,
regimented. They
even
told
a
you
lot
when
with
to
the
eat.
guys at work too. Like they normally can't take more than 1, maybe 2 weeks off of work, or they are just crazy bored.
But I do see where he's coming from when he's talking about the Native Americans. Okay,
Yeah, well,
it's at that point only the natural leaders and stuff, or the rebels and leaders, they're okay with not having any type of authority telling them what to do or not. But
Well-
everybody else, yeah, they'd be like, yeah, fuck that. I'm out here by myself. Like, oh shit, like what the fuck are we gonna do? And then here comes some big old authority, like, you're gonna do this. And the Native Americans be like, all right. You know,
Well, that's really the difference. Like, because with the collapse, the natives won't have the option of going to the government. The criminals won't have the option of going back to prison. The military guys won't have the option of re-enlisting. So, yeah, they may just pick someone else. But then it's not this monolithic, because like the Canadian government, they cannot, like, such a top-down, hey, let's listen to these guys who live in Ottawa, dozens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of miles away, versus let's listen to the most intelligent guy within a 2-mile radius.
I see what you're saying. I definitely see what you're saying, you know, because even during shit hits the fan, everybody will be looking for that type of leadership, a leader, you know, like for example, hypothetically, right? Undead Chronic, he has leadership characteristics. So if he out of nowhere hopped on some rock and he had a cape, you know, floating in the wind saying, "Follow me," he would definitely have a good amount of people following him, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The people who don't like decisions, the people who want to be told what to do, who outnumber us. I don't have a number. I guess they outnumber us 500,000 to 1.
I think I think a pretty easy statistic was this was a survey done in Ontario asking how much of the population of Ontario thinks that people should lose their jobs by refusing to get the hokey pokey. And that number was 60%. So I think you're looking at least 60% of the population will blindly follow orders.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but when it comes to survival, a lot of people will be more willing to listen.
Oh, LOM. Actually, this continent is better than any other. There are still large swaths of this continent that are they can produce crops but are not settled by people. Right? Go find me similar land on any other continent that A can produce crops and B is not settled by people.
Also an abundance of fresh water.
Yeah, that's part of being able to produce fresh crops is you need a source of water. There's tons of land that is unoccupied in the northern parts of the provinces. So northern Saskatchewan, northern Alberta, northern Ontario, northern Manitoba, northern Quebec. Clear to forest, and you have room to run a ranch or plant crops. And I mean, of course, Canada's got so much fresh water, you'd never run out of it.
Well, yeah, and a couple million tons of it are dumped on us each year too.
Yeah. And then, of course, as global warming accelerates, it just opens up further and further to the north. So the Hudson Bay lowlands that surround Hudson Bay, which is not a viable port now, but give global warming another 50 years, and that will be a all-season port. And all the land that is used to being under 3 feet of snow every winter will no longer get snow. So it will be usable for crops.
The shit should move up to
But in the end, there's still one major flaw staying in the United States. Okay, there's still, within the first year of the shit hits the fan, and I mean society collapsing, there will be a ton of potential enemies.
Armed enemies at that.
Like a shit ton, a lot, at least in the United States, within the first year.
Yeah, okay. And the advantage of Canada is that we have the population of California spread out in the land area that is 1.5 times the size of your country.
To be fair, though, chances are the Americans will either invade or mass migrate to Canada, so you're going to want to start heading north.
Yeah, they'll end up in Toronto, which doesn't help them in any way. Toronto is exactly like Chicago, just across the lakes.
They'll go. That's the thing. I think, depending on their tolerance for the cold, they'll go further and further north. Like I think Max Brooks' Zombie Survival Guide is actually a pretty good idea of what will happen when shit hits the fan, like for North America in general.
Well, I'm right next to Canada, so I'll be right at home if I'm
that land won't be any good if it gets hit by nukes. Are you thinking of like dirty bombs? Because modern thermonuclear arms, they don't leave radiation, or they don't leave the kind of radiation that Chernobyl did.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if they did, like the amount of bombs it would take to saturate all of North America and all of Canada, like sure, they'll probably hit Toronto, maybe some of our nuclear power plants, major infrastructure points. There's just so much land mass up to the north. It would be completely inefficient to saturate the whole area with.
But at the same time, the amount of nukes between the superpowers alone will create enough damage, not just the crops, but the atmosphere as well.
In which case, you would need greenhouse technology. And it's, again, when you're in an area that has a lot of available fresh water, especially if it's moving fresh water, doesn't take much to get your own power generating. Throw up a wind turbine and a solar panel, and you have 3 sources of power for your little compound.
I agree.
And then, of course, you have an abundance of forest for heat.
Yeah, heat's going to be probably like if you can get your food and your fresh water sorted out, like you're on the clock for making sure that you got proper insulation and a good source of heat.
Okay, so the order of operations in backland survival is that you need, it's the rule of 3s, right? You can't go 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. All right. So when you get to a place, we're assuming that the air is breathable because then you have bigger problems if it's not. The first thing you need to do is find a source of fresh water. Moving water tends to be safer than stagnant water. So you would prefer rivers over lakes and lakes over swamps.
Streams too.
Well, it depends on the size of the stream. If it's just a little trickle, it could be contaminated.
True.
The source, it heavily depends on what the source is. Lakes that have groundwater sources tend to be very nutrient rich. So it's very healthy for you to drink that water without first filtering it. If you happen to be close to the Rocky Mountains, the rivers that come off the glaciers are some of the cleanest water you'll ever drink in your life. Guys, if you want what real water is supposed to taste like, go to Glacier National Park in Montana and scoop one of the rivers coming off the mountains. First of all, the water will be ice cold to touch, and it will taste so fresh.
So there
Anyways,
will be a
that aside,
huge migration to those areas.
Well, and
Possibly a lot of battles.
well, and how many people actually know this, right?
Not that
Very
many.
few. And the mountains are a huge place. You could have a lot of people in the mountains and they'd never see each other. Anyways, next up, you have to find food. There's two primary ways to get food where I'm from. You go fishing or you go hunting. Trapping is something that takes a lot of energy and patience, so you want to wait until you have your food supply first. Fishing is something that if you know how to fish, you'll get a pretty good meal very quickly. Hunting is a little bit more energy intensive.
I've been doing that spear fishing. Yeah. Because we can't really rely on fishing rods for long when it breaks. So
I mean,
I've been doing that.
You can
spear
make
fishing
a fishing rod. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
difficult.
You're right, but a lot of people, they won't like me, including myself. I don't know how to make a fishing rod. So
You need
Yeah.
string and a hook. That's
You don't even need the string. You can make do without the string.
You could free
Really?
dive for most things out the ocean.
you don't need
Well-
a string.
The problem with the ocean is that the water's not drinkable. So if you are going to live near the ocean, you do need a connecting stream that goes into the ocean.
or well, that's the thing. It also you can make a silver still, like to purify the salt water.
Well, then now you have an energy problem at that point. Like
All you need is-
you're
all
going
you need
too
is
far
fire.
advanced. All you
Eh,
need
like,
is fire. No. You need fire and something to hold the water that is not permeable. So you need a tarp, a pot, things that you may not have on you when you land in this random spot.
Well, that's
True.
the thing, but like we're not necessarily being dropped into the wilderness. Like we're
But
assuming that
you'll
we're
eventually
never
fleeing
know.
wander
something.
there if you're lucky.
You absolutely never know.
I say you'll wander there if you're lucky. That's when you have to start setting up and
Society
so-
collapses, and meanwhile you're in your work pickup truck. So the only thing you have are a bunch of electricians' tools and a truck that ran out of gas. Okay, now what?
If you got a truck, then you have a lot of non-permeable materials that you can hammer into a usable shape.
yeah, you're not wrong about that.
Then you're taking apart your truck.
Yeah,
Or whatever else is around you. Like
Yeah.
civilization
I
has
mean-
spread pretty bloody far. Like, that's the thing. You got to look at like alternative options. So like if you're stuck on the coastline miles away from fresh water and it's a choice between do I go searching for fresh water in a random direction or do I make a solar still? At least having the option and knowing you have the option is better than like being forced into one or the other.
yeah.
Everyone's
but
circumstances will be different.
eventually you have no choice, depending on the situation. You have no choice but to go back to the basics.
Well, and take what you're given, right? So, we do all these scenarios all the time, right? Okay, you have one item. What would you take? What'd be the one item that you could take, man-made? Everything else has to be from nature.
Just one item.
Just one item, and
Nice.
even your clothes and your
Tomahawk.
shoes.
One
One man-made item.
If I have to choose between everything and shoes, I'm gonna pick shoes.
I'll say hatchet.
Close.
That's a tomahawk and a piece of string.
A piece of string. One piece of string.
Yeah, if you've
Or
got
maybe a
tomahawk and
roll?
a piece of string, you can make fire.
So you mean a roller string, pretty much.
Well, yeah, length of string
Okay.
or cord, so you can make a bow drill. So you've got fire.
Yeah, but for me, hatchets, because I'll be able to manipulate the environment a lot better.
I would want I would want some type of survival knife, a buck knife, or even hey, I can get away with a skinny knife if I can't be picky, but I need some bladed object because that is what gets me the most possible other things. Right?
Yeah, no,
I can
I
cut
definitely
wood, I can cut animals and meat.
Well,
I
that's the
can,
thing.
yeah.
I'd second on that's the thing. Knife was my first pick until you said we had to pick between everything and potentially shoes, because good luck getting anywhere without shoes.
Oh, 100%. 100% without shoes.
Producer Tim and Gray, before you continue, I want to ask the chat because now I'm curious. Chat, everybody in the chat right now, let's say shit hits the fan. Ooh, things are going to shit right now. And you have to go out and try to survive on your own. You can only take one man-made item. Which one would it be? Everybody in the chat, what one man-made item you will take with you in order to survive the collapse? Okay, you guys can continue.
Yeah. So I put my pick in the chat there. That's the thing is, you can make that stuff out of rocks. You can make arrowheads out of rocks. You can make a hatchet out of rocks.
Knives too, to an extent.
Yeah, make flint knives.
Yeah. The problem though is making a knife without a knife is a lot harder.
Yeah, like
I could make a hatchet out of a rock if I have a knife.
Well, that's the thing. You can't make a knife in the traditional sense, but like if you just have a thin, sharp rock edge, like imagine a knife without the handle where you just broke off a portion of the blade. That's basically what you can make, like by smashing rocks apart.
Yeah, and of course, the type of rocks in your environment matter a lot. Condoms. Don't want to be catching those STDs from the puniti out in the wilderness.
You can carry a liter of water in a condom.
Wait, Saeed, you gonna take a whole sword? What?
Wait, are you gonna drink the water out of a condom? That sounds pretty gay, man.
I want my slippy slide.
He's here Cook Murphy in the mid distance.
And if it's a used one, then you get your protein and your zinc.
Hey, Phil Ravage, why a duffel bag?
I mean, because people are fucking around.
like that's your survival man-made item you'll take with you? Like, let me know why.
I can kind of see the logic there. Being able to carry a large amount of stuff. Like imagine you have no clothes, no shoes. Like if you were going to go on a looting rampage, a duffel bag would be really useful in that circumstance.
I can make a duffel bag pretty easily, especially after I catch my first animal.
What are you going to use for string? Like the guts?
Yeah, intestine. You can also use a lot of fibrous plants or the certain types of wood. Green saplings can make very good substitute for string and rope.
True.
Man, you gotta look at like 420 pounds of weed. Wild pussy.
I didn't see any. So I only see one person that says medical supplies. Only one person said that. Okay.
No, I can make it. Almost anything medical can be made in the wild. The knife absolutely can be useful for picking anything out of your skin, or surgical incisions. The barch, Jesus Christ. The bark of a willow tree has a white powdery substance on it, and it actually is the main active ingredient in aspirin.
I thought it was birch.
Aspirin is made of acetylsalicylic acid. The white powdery substance on the underneath of willow bark is salicylic acid. Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it is. But yeah, if you chew willow bark, it gives you a natural painkiller. You could also rub it on a sore area, and it will function like an inflammatory, anti-inflammatory.
So the one item I think is also crucial will be a compass.
No, I can find north without a compass.
Yeah, you can kind of make do with the sun. You can kind of make do with like the sun position, moss.
Sun, moon,
I'm saying like
stars.
a compass incorporated with some type of map of the area that you're at. Just
a map would be good.
Yeah.
Especially one that shows landmarks, both natural and man-made.
Yeah, and know how to read a map and use a compass.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, if we have to pick, like I think, if we have the luxury of knowing the area in advance, some stuff like knowing the natural landmarks, like honestly, I'd recommend that everyone in preparation for it, like if you know you're going to be in a certain area, like when shit hits the fan or you suspect it, definitely like go out, pay the like $3 to $5 to pick up a map of your local area and make the effort to put some marks on it. Know like here's where there's some fresh water, here's where there's some dense human populations, this is a good looting spot, this is a spot that's good to hide away, and then go there on foot to get that in your memory as well, because there's some areas where you can only navigate it by being on foot. Like there's some parts, especially in northern Ontario, where it is just so flat. It is just woods. There is no hills, no rivers, nothing. You will get lost.
All right, guys, I got a couple of questions right quick. So, Yeetus, what if you had to survive the Amazon forest? I will accept my death.
Yeah, get eaten by an anaconda.
I'll survive that shit.
Huh? Oh, anaconda! No, dude, fucking random ass bug's gonna bite you in the middle of the night, and you will not be able to. Yeah.
Or I touch a vibrant colored frog. I'm like, shit.
Oh yeah, he's tripping balls. Yeah, and then Rishi comes walking out of the forest.
Rishi, is that you?
Eat
what's
the mushroom.
I am the mushroom. Serious, what do you have for the collabs? I have a few handguns. I have a high-powered rifle. I only have a few boxes of MREs, but I need to get like more non-perishable items. I do have a couple of knives, a backpack. What else? What else do I have? I have a flashlight. What else? Somebody's calling me. Producer Tim, can you
Yeah, I'll take over here for a second. Yeah. Okay. Now we've done the scenario with one item. What if you could take 5 items? Now what would you prioritize?
Well, I'm still like putting shoes as number 1.
Then
second, pocket knife. Third, flint and steel.
That's 2 items.
No, it's a 1-item kit.
No, that's 2 items.
Fine, then flint because the knife is steel.
Okay.
Some kind of tarpaulin or something so you make a shelter.
Not a bad idea.
Fishing
hang on. They sell knives with flint. Oh, that does bear. So a knife with any other function built into it is a shitty knife for survival. That thing will snap on you the first time you use it.
Yeah, don't get anything with a hollow handle.
Yeah, nothing with a hollow handle. Nothing that's a knife and something, right? Swiss Army tools are great when you also have another knife as a backup. If it's the only knife you have, it's too shitty to be used in survival.
Yeah. Okay, well, then if I have to go, then flint, I guess maybe sharpener for number 4 to maintain the knife.
I'm asking if fins would be handy.
I guess number 5, pants.
No, we don't want to be naked.
The flint is attached via the chain. It's not inside the knife. I think I would count that as 2 items.
Yeah, like I've got.
There's
like
my
a
list
little-
there. Number 1 is the knife. Number 2 is boots. 3 is a hunting rifle. 4 is ammo. 5 is saw.
Yeah, that's good.
I can make everything else after that. A saw is the hardest thing to make in the wild.
Yeah.
So when I start having the luxury to carry more and more stuff, the stuff that is the hardest to create in the wild is the stuff you want to start packing. Anything you can create in the wild, you're good. That's why I don't bring a hammer. I can make a hammer very easy. I'd bring my hockey mask if I want to go out in style.
Should have brought some food as well, really, shouldn't we?
Oh,
Yeah,
God,
no,
if I have a
actually,
hunting rifle and ammo, I can get food whenever I want.
Yeah, no. Actually, Feral Ravage has a good point to support pants pockets. Where you're gonna store all the stuff? Because we, as men, we only really have one natural pocket.
Well, Jack Murphy gets good use out of his.
Well, he's expanding his, so he's got extra carry space.
Yeah, he's actually the 1,000 IQ play here. His is so big he could carry a whole car up his. He's got a pickup truck worth of equipment up there.
Jack Murphy looks like a bloody chicken. I don't know.
He learned it from all the ex-cons that were smashing his wife.
Probably smashed him as well.
Oh, probably.
On video, you know.
Why would you need a saw when you can make an axe? Pragmatic Man, that is a very good question. It is a matter of energy consumption. When you're in a survival situation, you must manage your energy usage. Having a saw cuts the amount of energy it takes to cut larger and larger trees down, which means longer fires, less time looking for firewood, bigger shelter. The axe and the saw serve separate functions.
Yeah, splitting is not as important as being able to cut it down.
And if
Yeah,
you have a
definitely does.
knife, you can make kindling needed to start a fire if you have a knife. Where did I put my list?
Some wire wool would be very good. That's very good for starting fires.
I was thinking, but going back to like the creation of thread, if you have a knife and some green saplings, you can make a suitable length of cord.
Mm.
Yep. There are a lot of things that actually can be used as cords or string. Any fibrous item can be woven into string. Hell, if your hair's long enough, it can be a string.
Oh, yeah.
Your hair is pretty goddamn strong. Braid your hair, and then if you need to pull something, tie it to the back of your scalp.
Yeah, no,
You'd be surprised how strong your hair is.
Oh, I actually do have decently long hair. I've legit cut myself like on my hair.
Okay. Okay, we'll put that on a t-shirt.
That's how much of an edgelord I am. I cut myself on my own hair.
You could be an assassin. No one would know.
That is a
Keep the
lie.
weapon.
Saw takes forever. Big trees. I'll burn a hole in and let it do the work.
Where?
Well, if
That's
you're
not gonna
burning a
work.
hole, that kind of defeats the purpose of the tree in the first place. You're not using the tree for just firewood. In fact, trees will be your number one consumed resource.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
why you-
idea that you bring them down quickly. Now, we're not talking about taking down a 400-year redwood. A tree that's maybe...
Shit, 400-year
That's-
redwood's basically a home.
Yeah, basically. I'd say no more than a foot in diameter are the types of trees you'd be bringing down in less than a minute with a saw. Whereas you could spend a good 20 minutes with an axe.
And it'll just sap all your energy.
And sapping all your energy, yes. The saw is efficient, and it also lets you make precision cuts, whereas your knife is not a very precise instrument. It leaves you. It's easy to use a knife to make tipped spears. Use hemp, of course. Of course, hemp comes up.
Yeah.
A knife is good for making you a tipped spear, but if you were to cut that spear to an exact, precise length, you'd have a very hard time doing it. You can cut a tree down with a small fire. Yeah, I get that, but you're also burning the wood. Or at least you're burning the wood at one end. Anyways. But the tree you're thinking of is a lot bigger than the tree I'm thinking of. Not to mention you're wasting time building an unnecessary fire.
How are you lighting a fire in a tree? I don't get it.
Well, you can light a fire at the base of the tree.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
And then it consumes the wood. It kind of like chews through it. And then you can just knock it over at some point.
Then you die in a forest fire. Yeah.
Yeah, depending on what kind of tree you lit. If it was one of those pine trees, man, I'm telling you, those things light up like Roman candles.
Yeah, time of year matters as well. Like doing it in winter's one thing.
Oh, winter survival, you're fucked. You are so fucked in winter survival.
Yeah. Like it doesn't. God, yeah. Like 5 items is not enough to survive in winter if you're dumped in the middle of the woods. You're just dead.
Yeah, just curl up and accept death. It won't hurt.
Yeah, just strip down, find the nearest snowbank. If you got a bunch of liquor, down that right away and just go to bed.
Go to sleep. Tim, have you ever heard of Tom Brown Jr.?
No.
He's a survival teacher. He trains, used to, special forces, Navy SEALs, Rangers, that type of people. He's got several books. He's got autobiography, which is very good. And, a couple of manuals on survival.
Yeah.
He actually made a film with Tommy Lee Jones and Tommy Lee Jones called Hunted, about a Marine who's gone nuts, and Tom Brown's brought in to go after him in the wilderness because he trained him. It's Benicio del Toro, that's the good fella.
Guillermo del Toro?
Yeah. Good film, look it up.
Yeah. But anyways, I mean, it's fun to play around with these hypotheticals, right? It just keeps your mind sharp so that you know what to prioritize when you're told, hey, you have 10 minutes to get the fuck out.
Well, there's very few people have even thought about it,
So then, of course, let's say the nuke is fired. You're right. You get the Hawaii missile alert, says, hey, missile's coming in 20 minutes. And the only thing you can take is whatever's around you right now. Like, you look around, you're like, okay, what can I grab? What don't I have to go looking for?
A big bag of weed.
Yeah, just smoke up and let the nuke kill you.
Yeah, that's just like smoke them if you got
to be
them.
fair, if you're on Hawaii and you're getting an incoming missile alert, you're probably not going to get far enough away for anything effective.
I mean, if I had a boat.
I actually live.
If you had I think 20 minutes, if you had a boat ready to go, fueled up,
yeah, if I could get to it 20 minutes, I'd take my chances on that first.
Oh yeah, no, definitely taking that's better than nothing. Getting like even 10, 15 minutes offshore is going to massively increase your odds. Then you just got to hope that there's something half decent to come back to, because I don't know how long you're going to be able to survive on a boat. Like, even if you do have it somewhat supplied, this ain't life of pie.
I actually live about 10 miles away from the Holy Lock submarine base, which was one of the number one targets for the Russians during the Cold War. We grew up in absolute bloody terror. Yeah. Well, placed upon us by the people who know.
Is it ideal to get as fat as possible in a survival situation like a bear? Only if it doesn't compromise your mobility.
Yeah, like definitely having some body fat would be effective for very lean times, but if it affects your ability to move around, your ability to run, and of course it's going to increase the amount of energy you have to expend to do stuff.
Yep. I know one thing. So I own 2 vehicles. I own a 4x4 and then a town car. So I know which vehicle I'm taking if I get that alert to get out of the city. Because I'm like, fuck the roads. We're going off road on this bitch.
Actually, no, that actually does bring up another way to look at this. Now, I'd actually consider the zombie survival guide's recommended mode of transportation, though if you had a 4x4, you could probably get away with both for a while. A bicycle.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I have a very expensive mountain bike here beside me. I could throw it in the back of the truck.
Okay, I'm back.
That's the thing. So, like, if you have a bicycle, because again, shit hits the fan, collapse scenario, fuel is going to be in very limited supply. So your vehicle is only going to be effective for so long. Bicycle, especially if you got a mountain.
Yeah, bicycle is beyond crucial. Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, now do
On-road,
the Last
off-road.
of Us thing where you go and siphon from gas tanks of abandoned cars.
Well, yeah, you can do that.
That can work.
First of all, okay, but here's the thing. How are you going to get your car through gridlock? Like,
Well, 4x4 doesn't care about gridlock.
that's the thing.
I'll
It'll get
off-road
you
my-
going
that
for it'll get you going for a while. I definitely say, yeah, sure, take the 4x4 as far as you can till it runs out, but keep a bicycle in the trunk.
Motorcycles are not off-road. You might be thinking of dirt bikes, but not a motorcycle. Those things are useless off-road.
Yeah, you need a motocross
What do you
bike.
mean motorcycles can off-road to some? It could depend on the terrain, but the terrain literally has to be just straight up like a field, like a grass.
It would definitely get you through like gridlock. Like if a bunch of people, like if you get just a massive sea of cars, a motorcycle is definitely better than being on foot if you don't have a bicycle as an option. But no, I'd say like, yeah, in terms of like definitely something to acquire to prep for what's to come, get a bicycle, learn how to maintain it, and have some spare parts handy so that you can do maintenance, an extra chain, some oil.
I see what you're saying, man.
I mean, the vehicle gets you out of the town. Eventually, you will have to abandon it because it's more to maintain than it's giving you.
Yeah, you will have to eventually abandon it, yeah.
And the noise is a factor as well. With the threat of other people around, being able to move quietly is
Yes.
huge.
Oh, God. Stealth is, man, you need to learn how to move stealthily. That is an essential skill to any survival situation. Don't be a bumbling fuck when you're moving through the forest.
I agree 1,000,000%.
Learn how camouflage works. Learn how human eyes work. Human eyes are tuned to spot other human faces. You can spot a face at a ridiculous distance if it's not camouflaged in any way.
You gotta learn how to cover and conceal, gentlemen.
And that includes your shelter. You're asking to get looted if your shelter is standing on the top of a hill from 30 miles in every direction.
And it's neon pink.
It's free real estate.
Big rainbow flag on it.
Concealment also works when you're building traps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like some awesome Vietnam War shit.
Yeah. Or just trapping animals.
That'd be a horrible way to die, not gonna lie.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, nothing sucks more than falling into a spike pit when they're all covered in shit.
But the most crucial thing to have in the shit hits the fan is a group, if you're able to trust them. If you're able to trust them.
That's definitely going to be one of the biggest things to focus on over the next couple of years is like start vetting people to
Yes.
figure out if like this is kind of thing like if you're trying to pick someone out for like, okay, shit hits the fan. This is someone I get in contact with. If they've got a family, you are going to be lower priority, even if you're more useful.
See, that's the thing. I personally, like no disrespect to the families, but unfortunately, it's a survival situation. I would not be with people that have like young children and stuff. That they're too much of a liability at the moment. When shit's still going crazy, chaotic, I would not rely on somebody with a family.
Yeah, you're looking at like you need to live for 6 months to a year. Like that's just kind of the regular expectation. Going back to TFM's thoughts, like the 6 months are when the most people are going to die. Although, like if you've got a winter situation, like that might be extended up to a year because you're not going to go rejoin civilization in the dead of winter.
That's true. But the most, like the Warband, right? Like, I rather see. Here's the thing: I will much rather trust Warband members than even some of my own family members.
Yeah, that's the thing. Do you know the saying, 3 men can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead, right?
Yep.
Okay. You know why they say that, right?
Because
The only person you can ever count to not betray you is you. And you can only count on that person half the time.
Yes.
Especially when Puniti's involved, you will betray yourself quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
See, because that instinct, especially which I explain often, and I learned this in when I watched the Book of Eli, where the lady was like, "Oh, help me! Oh, I'm in damsel in distress. Help me! Oh, I'm by myself." And then, of course, the main character, Denzel Washington's character, he knew what was happening, but the fact that she had a whole group hiding around her, just waiting to have the ambush. That's why I tell men, when shit hits the fan and you start hearing all the wails and the screams and like, "Oh, help me," don't trust it. Do not trust it, because men knowing other men, they know that there's going to be some simp out there that's going to be willing to fall for the bait.
Also, I got some unrelated news. I just booked in Dick Masterson for the Midtown podcast for February 10th. So that
Who's
will
Dick
be the
Masterson?
episode that releases February 11th.
Who?
Yeah, who?
I've heard that
You guys don't know who
name.
Dick Masterson is?
Heard the
No.
name, not familiar with his content.
Yeah, I'm not.
Sounds like
okay.
a porn star.
Well, whatever. I mean,
He sounds important.
Dick Masterson.
he is our godfather of podcasting, because he gave Nick Rekieta his start on YouTube.
Really? Oh, okay.
And of
All
course,
right.
Rekieta gave us our start, right? So, like, Dick is our godfather.
All right, I'll definitely let me know. Like, if you're gonna be yeah, you always update on Discord, so I'll
yeah.
definitely share it when that happens. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'll be there.
He just confirmed it. Oh, I'm excited. He is easily one of the biggest names in the e-space, right? He's at the same level of Ethan Ralph, Andy Worski, right? Coach Red Pill, all of these kind of big e-celebrity guys. He's definitely one of the biggest names we've booked yet on our show. No offense to Chronic.
Still gotta get Joe Rogan. You heard about DMT?
But anyways, I
But-
derailed the
but when it-
conversation.
When it comes to, once again, men, we have that biological instinct. It's built within our DNA to go and help somebody that's in need if they look, more importantly, women and children. Well, we have the instinct to go and help in need if they start like, "Oh no, help me! Oh my God!" And these simps out here, because I'm sure people in the Warband, better not to do that. These simps out there, they're going to fall for the oldest trick in the book. Like, "Come here, lady.
Help!
I'm here
Help!
to save you."
Sir Yeetus, I'm a big-titted, beautiful blonde woman who needs help.
I pull a bullet in her head. No, that's too suspicious.
well, yeah.
But-
First of all, the gunshot would give your position away.
Well, that's still a bullet in the head for thinking that I'm a simp.
Yeah.
To get the point across.
Yeah, and then the people around be like, oh shit, this dude, this
This motherfucker not clowning around.
He ain't playing around.
Double tap it,
But I guess taking a
titty
spinning
bitch,
robot
how
pussy
dare
is
you.
part of the essentials kit.
I'll worry about the puniti when things calm down for the most part. But
Okay, I mean, although you got to think about it. Think of the value a porno mag will have when the internet goes away.
oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah, they'll give you like 10 cows for that shit.
Now, it's interesting because in terms of who you would take, who you'd take with you, if you take another red-pilled guy who's your equal, how do you know he's not going to just dump your ass when you start becoming a liability? One of you has an unfortunate accident, you end up breaking a leg. You think he's going to stick
You
around,
have
take
to
care of your
accept-
ass?
I think that he'd appreciate the Night Watchman. Yes.
In my opinion, you have to always accept those realities and you back to your
Because that's the
back to your
thing.
head,
Like,
because in the end, especially during the apocalypse, and this person has been roaming for you for a bit during the collapse, the pros outweigh the cons. Because of course you don't know how your buddy will react.
that's the thing. If you had 5 people, okay, maybe you'd get ditched if you broke your leg. But if it's just you and one other guy, okay, maybe you can't lift or carry stuff for a while. But just being able to be on the night watch and allow him to get a decent amount of shut-eye, like that's enough. Like the action economy is still going to matter. Just because you've got a broken leg and you've lost.
You're reduced to the role of the wife. You have to make the dinner for when he comes back from a day of gathering.
Well,
Use a bitch.
In all seriousness, though, especially with a lot of groups that's going to be around for the next 6 months, you're way worth more dead than alive. So I understand if he has to ditch. No, you're way more worth alive than dead. Sorry, because if he has to ditch you, it will literally have to be because he has no choice.
Yeah, but would you both agree on the same threshold that choice needs to be made? And you're like, no, I'm still useful. And he's like, no, literally, you're not.
I would if I was not incapacitated, but if I was became a casualty, like if I lose a limb or lose an arm, or if I become very poisoned and some unfortunate critical condition that happens, yeah, I will expect that.
The reason I made that point was to again, if you look at The Last of Us, where Ellie is reliant on Joel. If she gets pissed and tries to go her own way, they disagree on something, then she goes off alone, she's fucked. And she knew that. She needs him. So I'm saying that the best person to bring with you would be someone in a similar position, one who would be absolutely boned on their own.
Okay, but here's kind of the counter to that. If it's someone who's boned on their own and you're the one who gets injured, then you're both dead.
Oh, I mean, they're not totally. I'm not saying bring a crippled Jesus or something.
No, that's the thing. I say, okay, let's be honest.
I'm thinking
Joel
of
would
someone
not have
who
gone...
doesn't know survival, but are still they can lift, they can look, they can pull the trigger of a gun, right? So if you've got anyone's got younger cousins or a nephew,
yeah,
teenage, not little kid, not teenager.
Yeah.
Post puberty. I guess I do see somewhat where you're getting at there, but let me put it this way: if it was the choice between a red pill dude who may ditch me and a woman who's going to be borderline useless. Let's be honest. Ellie
No one
would
wants
not,
to have a woman with them.
That's the thing.
Let's be clear.
Like, let's be honest, Ellie would not have, like, no one would have given a shit about Ellie if she wasn't immune to the fucking disease.
Yeah,
Like, she was the goddamn MacGuffin of that game.
She
Yeah,
was the
exactly.
most valuable.
Well, that's why I
asset on
said
Earth.
nephew or a male cousin, because
Yeah.
clearly
I-
that
I
would not go
agree.
well.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
I
want someone
agree,
you can
but
trust.
yeah, get somebody you can trust, of course, yes. And just in the end, having a group not too big though. I don't want no big ass group, but
No,
at
honestly,
least within the
5.
first year of the collapse, just have that 5-man group, maybe even 6, to
Like-
have each other's back.
I wouldn't say more than 7.
Yeah. So like everybody agree to have each other's back because in the end, they will have a lot higher chance of survival being together than alone.
Like a bike gang.
Yeah.
I mean, it becomes each person you add adds a 100% difficulty level to concealment when it comes to moving and concealing your shelter. So a group of 7 people is next to impossible to conceal to a raider.
That's true, but at the same time, hopefully these people are able to hold their own.
But
if
at the
you
same
have to
time-
But-
first.
A group of
Like-
7 is also 3 men on watch.
Well, and that's the thing is I would raid settlements like that because I have a very high powered rifle and I know how to use it at extreme distances. They're stationary and are forced to guard a particular location. I'm mobile. I can shoot from 360-degree angles
Right.
around them.
But I might have a sniper on watch.
Snipers make terrible watches.
They only have a very
They have
small,
a very Yeetus, you know this, right?
yeah.
You would never use a marksman to cover someone defensively.
No, hell no. No. If there
'Cause
is
as
some
soon
type of
as-
observation tower,
Yeah, let's say you're in a
maybe.
foxhole, right? You're in a foxhole. You're radioing for help, and a marksman from the Marines comes on, says, "Hey, I can see you," and you're like, "Well, what the fuck are you looking at me for?"
Yeah, like point it down. No, I'm looking for riflemen. That's that.
I want a rifleman, a machine gunner, or armor, a driver.
'Cause at least one of those bullets are gonna kill you. I ain't gonna wait for the sniper to shoot one bullet and then have to bolt action and do all that crazy nonsense.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
those of you who played Call of Duty and do hip firing with your sniper rifle, that doesn't work in real life.
Hell no.
That does not work at all. First of all, your gun and scope are tuned for specific distances, which means they're out of alignment at short range. What you look at is not what you're going to shoot.
No, sniping's from a
And on
distance.
top of that, in that scenario, I would have to have another able-bodied person to be a spotter to
Be a
help.
spotter. Now you're doubling the resources and not getting any extra benefit.
Right.
No, I do not use marksmen to cover to hold a defensive position.
To try to pick them off from afar, if you're able to see that person coming from at least like an open field, that I say plausible. When
I
it
just move
comes
at night.
to-
Oh, I just move at night. You would never see me coming.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because if I'm able to see you coming from far away, then that will be a perfect opportunity to use a marksman. That I agree. But any
Yeah.
other scenario is more probable to use some type of high-powered rifle, semi-auto or full auto.
Sniping is basically counter sniping. If you're in a defensive position and you're being shot at by a marksman, you would use a marksman to counter them.
Yes.
But then Mount Monk, exactly. Long distance shooting is worthless in the dark timber.
Yeah.
Now it's not useless from my point of view. If I know your defensive position and I basically get free reign to walk around you, 2 to 3 miles out, right? Oh, you spotted me there. Cool. I'm going to disappear into the forest, walk around for 2 hours, and then reapproach from a different angle.
Because if that sniper is by himself, there's no fucking way he'll be able to scan the area, find that person that's probably 20 10 feet away or 20, no, let's say 100 yards away. By then, it's already too late. He's easy.
Oh, it's
pickings.
already too late.
Yes.
I can reliably hit something at 400 yards. That's how I've trained as a hunter.
So for people to stand guard, they'll definitely have some type of rifle. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So if you got a group of 7 and you got 3 people standing guard, great. That's 3 targets that will get taken out by me.
Well,
Yep. And
I mean, look, okay, if you had to choose, would you rather be 3-on-1 or 1v3? I mean, most people would say, well, I'd rather be 3-on-1. Okay, but tactics and equipment matter. So does the objective. At any time when I think I'm losing the battle, I can just leave.
at the same
All right,
time,
I got defeated. I'm not raiding this place. You don't have that same luxury. If you leave your post, the 4 people sleeping inside are dead men.
yeah, but at the same time, cover and concealment is important for the people standing guard.
well, yeah. Well, first of all, yes. Like like you wouldn't have 3 guys sitting around an open bonfire.
Yeah.
Like for what? You're going to have 3 guys in cover, primarily listening for audio cues.
And don't get me wrong, there's gonna be a lot of stupid people out in the open. Yes, but
Yeah.
people that know that what they're doing, I agree.
Well, they
Like,
have your
and
line of thinking
and
too.
second-
They're like, "Oh, it's 7 people. We're pretty safe. We're going to get a little careless, because we went 300 days without a single threat."
Well, then the secondary thing is like the guys on watch. They're not meant to defeat the target. They're meant to be able to rouse. They're the early warning system, the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, take
So,
out
like-
the target, but if not, alert the people back at camp.
Yeah, like that's the thing is, would you trust your life to that game of chance? I wouldn't.
When it
I'd
comes
want
to the
something that's more sure
probabilities,
than that.
To be fair, I probably wouldn't go with a group of 7. I just consider that the theoretical maximum. I think ideally 3 to 5 would be far
Right.
better to 7.
smaller and better. I'm just talking about the first year. When things starts to die down, not all the way down, but die down enough where people aren't killing like crazy as much anymore, or people aren't dying on a massive scale.
And the other thing is like just because you have 7 guys at the start doesn't mean you'll have 7 guys at the end.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be expected, like you're probably going to take some casualties. Whereas
Yeah.
if you got 3 guys, you can take a maximum of 2 casualties, and then you're solo and you're probably fucked. You got 5 guys, okay, you could take 2, maybe 3 casualties, and still like be able to have at least one person on watch at night.
But there will
7
be people out there. When there is casualties and unfortunately on your own. See, I'm gonna let Great Fish because I'm gonna talk about diplomacy during the collapse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess
I'll
last
talk about
point there is I just like 7 is if you're kind of expecting medium to heavy casualties, but I'd say ideally 5. But yeah, what you got, Yeetus?
Well, and when it comes to once again the first year, it's gonna be a fucking free for all, like on some Fortnite shit or whatever the the battle royale shit. It's you guys are the teams of 2s and 3s, or you're rolling solo, and good luck everybody. It's the Hunger Games, ha ha ha. But at least when shit starts dying down, diplomacy will be key. When it comes to survival, because I see it being realistic, and I'm sure it happened before, where a stronger group will come over like, "Ha, we're stronger than you," and if that leader ain't a fucking psychotic dictator, he'll be like, "All right, you gonna roll with us now," because at least depending on how he assesses the situation, he'll once again will deem your worth more or more useful alive than dead. You know how people, they will eventually create their own communities. It's going to happen. They're going to start creating the small communities and stuff,
which necessitates women.
Yes.
Are you ready to make that sacrifice?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like when things die down, not when shit is going nuts. when things start to die down, and people will just start creating small, pretty much all that tribalism shit again. I will say it depends.
Now, at that point, like women would be considered like a luxury trade good.
And women would definitely have no rights. Oh, hell no. It's not going to happen.
Fucked.
Vote her off the island. Oh shit.
No. Quite simply, like you run into a tribe that is like talking about fucking equality. A, you document how the fuck they survived, and then B, you get the fuck away.
How did you live through these collapse? What the fuck?
I see. It's like A, I got to figure out how the fuck you made it this long, and B, I'm getting the hell away because your hours are numbered.
Yeah, if it was some female fucking leader or whatever trying to spew that feminist bullshit, I'm running the opposite direction, and then I'm gonna keep track of that tribe. I'm gonna pick them off one by one. I can't allow you to live.
I imagine the only things left over in the city that gets nuked would be German shepherds and cockroaches, and I don't know how to tell them apart.
Easy. Cockroaches are edible.
And with all these Marvel movies,
so are black women. If you think about it,
Are they really though? Really?
yes, they are. And you know they got a lot of meat on them.
yeah.
But in the end,
Man, where have we gone with this stream?
Cannibalism
You
is
guys-
probably going to be part of it.
You guys wanna play some card games and invite some more people in?
no.
They did
Condo
have.
Chronic is going to be having his live stream soon, so he's going to have a debate.
Are we moving on to cannibalism or not?
No. What the fuck?
Came full circle. Keep coming back to it.
We're gonna go to cannibalism. What the fuck? That's the only reason I joined. But I'm gonna add 2 more people. I'm gonna see what they got to say. Island Hermit Special.
What's up?
Do you have
So-
anything Red Pill or MGTOW? Anything questions or anything to say?
Well, I
About
seen you
that.
guys were talking about the collapse, so I figured I'd share some of the stuff I got. You know,
Yeah,
the one thing I got
before
that's going to
we
be...
get to that part, do you have anything Red Pill MGTOW?
No, not really.
Because that was a whole.
You should
point.
have that shit pretty quick.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I created this fucking stream today.
Well, I seen we're all
Well,
talking about the
me, right?
collapse,
You
so
know,
I'm like,
don't
fuck
fuck
it,
Red
I'll
Pill.
share what I got real fast.
Yeah, fuck Red Pill, I guess.
Damn, I was happy with Sony
Goddamn.
but
Conspiracist, fucking post-apocalyptic motherfuckers. Anyway, go ahead and give your stories, man. Go ahead, because everybody wants to talk about the Walking Dead bullshit.
The main thing that I got that I think is going to be a game changer is night vision.
Would
Yeah,
you
until
even
the
have the batteries for
battery
night
dies.
vision?
Well, it's the one I got. You can like charge, and I got a little battery that you leave out in the sun, and it fucking like it's like a little charger. So
All right.
That'll
So I know,
work.
I know to raid your settlement on a cloudy day then.
but yeah, I got night vision. It hooks up to my bump helmet. I got a level 3 bulletproof vest. I got an AR-15, a Beretta. I got a CO2 powered gun that shoots arrows. So it's like, for like hunting, that would probably come in handy if I like run out of bullets or something. And then I got a shit ton of knives. I got a sword, a spear. Trying to think what else I got. But yeah, that's like the most of it. Oh, a machete.
That's a lot to carry.
Yeah, he's gonna need a backpack.
Mm.
Yeah, I got a backpack too.
And a hockey mask.
Oh yeah, I got a hockey mask. I got 2 hockey masks. Try to rig it onto my bump helmet. But yeah, the bulletproof vest and the night vision, because I could fucking raid people's shit at night, dude, like a ghost. Nobody will even know I'm there.
Ninja style.
Yeah, but if someone
Yeah,
finds you,
until you step on one of my tripwires.
I was gonna say, except for the guys that's got thermals, they'll know you're there.
Yeah,
I know the thermals are better. I was gonna get a thermal, but those are a lot of money. The night vision was a lot.
Yeah,
So.
they're high.
You can't see claymore mines with night vision.
you can't.
Claymore mines. You can't see them when you're using night vision.
Oh.
They just look like.
Well, think about it. Your average normie is not going to have night vision, so that's going to be like a huge advantage. They're going to be fucking sleeping. I'm going to sneak into their camp, fucking, just put the pillow over their face, take their resources, nighty night.
That's true.
All I'm saying is nobody's gonna expect a bow and arrow during the collapse. So,
Well, it depends on certain people. There are people that fantasize about this stuff a lot on the internet and online in general. Well, I could be somewhat class, but I'm not as good as Tim, who seems like he has some expertise in this for some reason, which I respect.
Yeah.
Well,
well,
yeah,
so here's the big thing that people want. When it comes to the hunting and the fishing, right? Which is why I believe a lot of people will be dying from starvation alone in the collapse. What techniques would you give the chat right now when it comes to getting food?
I don't know. I'm probably just gonna steal a lot of shit from people. I'm probably just gonna become. I'm gonna do everything I can to become Negan, and I'm probably gonna murder a lot of people during the collapse.
So you're just gonna just rob people?
Yeah, pretty much.
Which means I would make a ton of money if I shot you first. I'd be like,
Best
hey, I'll turn in
strategy.
this raider
Or-
who's been hitting your towns and cities for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm basically just gonna be like a red pill Viking.
well, at that point, you become an enemy and everyone wants to find you. So you're going to have to sleep unless you have a bunch of people with you. And when you're sleeping, they're
Or you
gonna
guys
try-
could just recruit me on your team.
No, I wouldn't recruit you because you don't sound someone I would trust. I'd rather kill you. You seem too dangerous. And
What? Because he has tattoos?
no, because he killed some people before and he's done this and he's trained. I don't trust anyone that would be more skilled than me in general if I don't know them. If that, or I have to starve him out for a long period of time and torture him and see how he works. I don't know. I'll kill him in the end, probably in the end. So
So you going
can't
all
trust-
Punisher during the collapse, huh?
No,
Oh yeah,
okay.
that's exactly what I was talking about, right? If you have two red pill guys who have equal skill and intelligence, the chances of being betrayed rise exponentially.
Well, so
Yeah.
you want to have somebody that's slightly more stupid?
Not
someone
stupid.
someone who is reliant on you. That's why I said, bring your nephew or something.
Yeah, I have my brother, and we talked about this stuff for years, and we even talked about our family. If we had to choose from a family, who would we pick? It's we're not picking our mom. We have to leave our brothers behind, and it's just we don't want to do it, but they're young. My brother's around the early teens, they're all 10 at the youngest, so it's can't take them. Can't take the mom because she's older right now. Can't take most of the females because that'll be a target on your back. And
So is
someone
your brother
holds you
not an
back.
adult yet?
Oh,
He's 18, so I have 3
So,
brothers.
so he's young enough. Okay.
Yeah. So we talked about this stuff for a long time. It's we even knew if you see a woman screaming, that's definitely a trap. Because if I was in a situation and I knew most people, I would definitely set a woman out. If I'll capture a woman and just beat her up to a point that she's dangerous and just leave her there for a while, and someone's definitely gonna come. It's probably gonna be another woman or a guy, and they're gonna go there, and they're just gonna hunt them and keep on doing this over again. Some people are gonna get really desperate in cities and start eating people, and have to send out the people that are half eaten out to attract people, and after just gonna farm that cycle over and over again. So yeah, if you have people that are extremely needy, you shouldn't go to them because they could be a trap or they're just dead weight.
Yep, I agree with all that. I have nothing to
See,
deny that.
here's another thing a lot of people aren't thinking of. When the time comes where you have to take a life, is your average person going to be able to do that?
Your
Nope.
average person isn't
I
even
don't
going to
think
be able
they
to kill
will.
an animal.
Anyone still
Yeah.
alive after 6 months will be able to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you'll have a lot of people that just won't be able to do it, and they're just gonna die instantly.
Yeah, they'll
pretty
die
much.
quick.
A lot
Because
of people are
when
going to
you-
starve to death because they won't be able to kill an animal for
Yeah,
food.
that's
They
what
won't be able
I
to-
Oh,
said
I'm
in the
looking
beginning.
forward to all the feminists who were like, "I'm a vegan level 3."
See,
They
that's
had
the-
one of those survival shows, and the girl was she was a vegan, and she was trying to like survive on like all plant-based foods, and she like almost starved to death, and then she was like forced to eat meat, and she started crying. It was hilarious.
Oh,
Hey,
that'd be
shut
so
the
funny.
fuck up. Eat that meat. Eat.
Hey, Special K had a question for me.
Yeah. Would you be able
Before
to
you do the question,
Yep.
I have to mention it right now. If anybody has been any type of conflict like I have, killing is just as easy as breathing when it comes to survival.
Yeah.
When you try to
I'd-
protect your own life for many people, killing is just as easy as breathing. You
I
won't
mean, I go
hesitate.
with what Snake said in Metal Gear Solid. Killing is something that gets easier the more you do it.
Yeah, that as well. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to like, it's either me or you, or you're in that situation. It's either me or you. Like I said, I agree. Especially after 6 months of the collapse, it'll be like that. It'll be like, hey, if you want to throw down, we'll throw down. But I'd rather it be you than me. So it's part of life, and society today, is way too comfortable. They have no comprehension of the horrors of, fighting
you-
for your life.
If you hear me racking a slide, know that darkness comes soon after.
Yep, it's run to cover, run the opposite direction. Like, nope, it's time for me to
Serpentine.
tactically retreat.
So TFM thinks we got 5 years. What do you guys think?
No, it'll take longer. It'll be a slow erosion. It'll take longer.
I'd say
I don't
maybe
know.
2050.
Yeah, it could be
20
20,
years.
50 years.
I'd actually say shorter. Like 5 years seems a bit generous. I'd say 3.
And here's
Yeah, I've
here's
heard
the,
people
here's the
say
big thing,
3.
right? And here's the big thing. Hell, the collapse probably, like I said, there's a small chance that collapse will probably never happen at all. Small chance. I'd rather that to be the case, but of course there's a 97% chance it will happen. And when it does, it's gonna be slow and eroding like it is right now. But I say it will take a certain year.
No,
Well,
that's
it'll
the
take-
thing.
it-
Like,
Well,
I'm going to counter the slow and erosion, but finish.
Well, let me finish this one. All right, it's already been slow and eroding, right? But it's going to take that one fateful day, week, or month, in like 10 years or whatever. It's the actual collapse will be quick, like shit will hit the fan instantly. But to get to that point, it will erode slowly, and people that have common sense, like right now, they're prepared for that point, But I don't think it's going to happen within 5 years. I think it's going to take longer.
Here's my counter argument to that. Like, it wasn't that long ago, I think only a month or two, that all of London was out of gas. Like, there was just no fuel in there Monday morning. Maybe a handful of gas stations had
Yeah,
some
that's
fuel.
terrible.
I knew nothing about that. Was that right away out of nowhere?
It was
they
incremental.
woke up one day like, where the fuck is the gas?
Okay,
It was
it's
set up by the newspapers and
Yeah.
the government. There wasn't a shortage. It was just people reacting.
yeah.
Well,
It was a natural, like people made.
Well,
it.
basically, they didn't have enough truck drivers to make the quota for that bit of time, and it took them a while to get back to it. Like, with the just-in-time delivery nature of the cities, it's a very sensitive amount, and supply lines are getting stretched thinner and thinner all the time. Like, just think, like, how long would it take without fuel trucks? Like, if fuel trucks just stopped going to one particular town for a week, that would be chaos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like when male workers at the metro station stopped working for the subways and stuff in New York because of some union issues or something like that. the entire transportation system collapsed.
Like, but that's the thing. Like, it's very delicate, and it wouldn't take much. And if we've already gotten to the point where the biggest city in the UK can be out of gas even for half a day, I don't think it'll take 10 years for that to start happening more frequently and on a smaller scale. And once it starts, like, if a town's been without gas for a week, the first fuel truck to come anywhere nearby is going to need an armed escort. Not to mention, if the fuel trucks aren't going there, like, that means everything that requires refueling is going to be fucked. That's food transportation.
So are you saying it's going to take less than 5 years or around 5
my,
years?
my estimation is 3. I think
3
5
years.
is a bit
I
generous.
agree with them on that.
But that has to
really-
be like, it'd be
Like I
3
say,
years in perfect conditions for that. Because you think about this, like, that didn't happen out of the blue. First, you had coronavirus, and after England left the EU, which caused stuff like that. That was a precise situation after sets of dominoes being set up, and if they just hitting the right time.
But I'm seeing the dominoes too. Like, we've already,
Yeah.
like, Trudeau has already made a push, although I think there's been some pushback, to mandate the magic poke for truckers. Like, and there's already major supply line issues. Like, the conditions are getting easier and easier to achieve, and it might not happen all at once, but all it has to do is start happening in isolated pockets. And that's like you're carrying a whole lot of cans and you drop one.
But you guys know I ain't talking about temporary collapse and they'll be bounced back. I'm talking about no return.
Like, that's the thing. But you're going to get a bunch, you're going to get it in smaller and smaller measures. And it's going to require more and more to patch up until the situation becomes unsalvageable.
Okay, yeah, I'm
Do
sorry
you
to say.
believe it's within 3 years or around 3 years? It's going to be collapse. There's no bouncing back from this.
That'll be the start.
Something very drastic would need to change.
Right.
I think
In
it's
order-
going to
in
happen
order
in
to
3
stop.
years. Because just go inside your supermarket and look around. All the fucking shit's gone. The prices are up. And fucking President Uncle Bad Touch has only been in office for a year. So just imagine what's going to happen in 3 at this rate.
And like I told people, he's not going to stay the rest of his term. It's not going to happen. He's going to get kicked out or he's mysteriously going to have a heart attack.
I agree, but the other options aren't much better, though.
True.
He's just the one that shits its pants all the time.
Like, he's a puppet as it is, so it really doesn't matter whether he's there or not.
But if he goes, Kamala Harris becomes your president.
Again, but she's a puppet
it's
too.
not
It
any
doesn't
better,
really
yeah,
matter. The people
Heels
pulling
up
his strings
Harris.
same people are pulling their strings regardless.
They're probably going to paint.
Yeah, it's
Harris,
all the Federal Reserve.
They're going to pay Harris as the hero. I can already see it.
Yeah.
She's going to be the savior.
But that's the thing. Like, I can see, like, at the very least, within 3 years, we're going to start getting piecemeal collapse. It's just a question of how long will it take? Like, how many piecemeal collapses are there going to be before the situation at large becomes unsalvageable? Because let's be frank, if you are in one of these areas where there's a piecemeal collapse, it doesn't matter whether the rest of the country is fucked or not. You are fucked.
I see what you said. Okay. I agree.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Like, it will start to slowly, like, I guess we won't really see it on most people. I guess most people wouldn't see that the decay happening because it'll be in for the most part, and after it's just going to drop. And most people realize, like, it's going to be in one place that place is having to be messed up for some moment, and after it's going to keep on happening, and after it's just like poking holes in a floor until there's nothing else to hold your place anymore. Everything just drops.
Yeah, like patching holes in a leaky boat.
Yeah.
Pragmatic man. I'm saying that society as we know it will collapse. So society as we know it will come to an end as we know it.
Yeah, no, like this isn't going to be worldwide simultaneous. Like,
No.
like the shit's gonna keep going forward. Something new is gonna pop up, but like we're going to lose all the comforts of the modern day.
It's going to be like for
a
Walking
while.
Dead, but without the zombies, pretty much.
We're gonna be the
Actually,
new.
has anyone played This War of Mine?
No.
No.
Highly recommend that game. It is effectively a zombie survival game without the zombies. Like you are in a war-torn city, and you're just a bunch of guys trying to survive day to day in a war-torn city.
Well, it depends on how many people die for this king. Which I'll say, I think it'll be around about 1.5 billion, 2 billion people. Depending what happens within the next, 50 years. If there's a world war or civil war or just craziness. The globalism, if it collapses, that's when a
That's the
shit
thing.
ton of people may die.
You got to look at like global population stuff because, like, keep in mind, I think most of the people or at least a huge percentage, are in China alone.
Yeah.
So, like the entire West could collapse, and it wouldn't hit that target
China
number of a
does-
couple hundred mil.
Yeah, it's China
China
and
does-
India are the big boys.
Well, China
China-
does depend on a lot of food from America. So if America drops, China's going to have effects on that too.
Yeah, and then you'll get the Great Leap Forward round 2.
That's why we're
See-
not really at war with them yet.
The only reason why
Yeah.
I think I could be fucked during this is because I don't know anybody that would join a group with me. Because all my family members are like fat, out of shape, fucking boomers, and like everybody else I know is like a pussy. So maybe like a few guys from the gym or something. But other than that, I don't really know anybody that I think could survive this.
Well,
Which
that
is why I
actually,
see why producer Tim, which I agree, when he said you need to find somebody that pretty much needs you alive more than dead.
well, that would actually be a bit of a good topic there. Like, where can you find men you can trust? Because, sure, we can rely on the Warband for these kind of talks, but unless by some miracle you actually know a Warband member IRL and you're geographically close enough, you're not going to be able to reach out to them when the infrastructure goes down.
That's true.
I mean,
Yeah.
bring Rishi. He's not a real mushroom anyway, so you'll be fine.
Unless he actually is a mushroom.
Nah,
No
he just
way.
goes around wearing mushroom face.
That'd be terrifying seeing that at night. You just
Then
you
who
see
do I
that
have
just
in my
running at
drawer?
you.
Rishi,
Is that you?
Rishi Mushrooms actually.
He doesn't have any
nearby
hands, so
where
he
I am.
can't hold nothing.
That means he can't hold a knife to my throat.
That'd be terrifying to see that in the woods, though. Nah, fuck that. I run away so quick.
Talking mushroom with a knife.
Sir Yeetus, it's me. How do you know my username?
Okay, I have a question. So after society starts to rebuild, what would be your general rebuilding process for your small community? What would be the ethics and morals that you try and implant on the people
What are you
that
talking
are
about?
Burn
laws?
any book that makes a reference to the 19th Amendment.
Yeah.
laws
Yeah.
or morality or just your culture that you want to build?
White Sharia.
Oh, damn.
Grow lots of weed.
I'm going straight there. Straight there.
Yeah, the 19th Amendment is gone. It's gone.
Well,
It's gone.
My
be
goal is
fair-
to basically just get as far away from everybody as I can and just build my little off-grid camp and fucking hope nobody finds me.
To be
Well,
fair,
someone's
compared
gonna
to
find
collapse during the society, white Sharia will be orderly. So
Yeah, we're able to create some order, but if it's possible, if we're able to birth a new community, that feminist 19th Amendment bullshit is gone. I don't want to fucking hear it.
part of it is whatever it is, you're going to have to come to an agreement with the others. Because again, anyone who's around 6 months to a year after shit gets fucked up, they are not necessarily going to be the kind to just bend over and accept whatever you say.
Well,
You're
I'm
gonna have
talking to
make
the
compromises.
I'm talking to the men only. The women would need to shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, no, you're not listening to them, but
Okay.
you got a bunch of armed guys with a year of killing experience.
It's
So-
all who they deem what type of government, the community government, what type of government that they want to run.
Rishi showed up in the chat. We summoned him successfully.
Yeah,
Say his
we
name,
did.
say his name
But-
3 times.
I understand Special K what you're saying, what type of structure that you have, because we can't have a society or community without any type of, morals, ethics, laws. But yeah, it definitely depends on who people deem as the authority figure or figures, and then we have to go from there on how they want to construct a new quote unquote constitution, quote unquote.
Well, honestly, I think that one thing that everyone who survives would be able to agree on is no responsibility without accountability. Well, sorry, no accountability without authority.
I agree, 1,000,000%.
Like that's the thing. I think that everyone at that point will be able to agree with the core tenant because, like, they all understand you need to contribute if you expect any kind of support. No one's going
Amendment
to
number
follow you
one:
if you're dead.
taxation is theft.
I would not, especially in the new society, a new community. I don't think there'll be any form of currency per se. We'll be going back to trading for the time
Anything
being.
is currency
No.
if you put value on it.
Yes, there would be some kind of intermediate level of currency.
Yeah.
'Cause-
Like you could do trading economy, but at some point, if
You
you're
can still
rebuilding
tax that.
civilization,
Right.
you need to be able to say, all right, I need something that has value later, that doesn't cost me anything to make now.
And doesn't look great.
Yeah.
Basically, anything useful will be your money.
Well, shit.
Well,
we'll
that's
go
the
to
thing, like, it
Fallout
could
4.
even-
We'll do some motherfucking bottle caps.
Well, that's the thing. Like anything that's in abundance and can't be easily reproduced, like that.
Yeah, like
pretty
people
simple.
trade like liquor, coffee, weapons,
Teeth.
tools,
We're gonna
stuff like
teeth.
that.
No, you could literally do paper. You could do the paper-based economy. Sign banknotes. Anyone, any note, any piece of paper with my signature on it is legal tender.
But I don't believe in that centralized bank bullshit. Nope.
Well, there's going to be no fucking
hang on a
infrastructure
second.
to facilitate that. Really.
You don't believe in the current central banking structure.
To be more, yeah.
But a banker in the old days, that is a different implement than what exists now.
Well, we still need like an institution to like trade.
Yeah, that
the
would be your
money and
business.
hold it value.
Right? You have a butcher, you have the cartwright or whatever,
The welder,
mechanic,
the
whatever, welder.
And
Well, you'd have a banker.
We'd
That's
probably
your
have to,
infrastructure.
like starting out, we'd probably have to use like gold or something.
Well,
shit. If
Probably
you can find
gold.
gold.
yeah,
silver,
gold and silver.
copper.
gold.
Like honestly,
copper.
chances are like any coinage currency would probably still be acceptable enough because there's going to be enough of that kicking around, like post whatever, and it's
Well,
still functional. It has set denominations.
Think of
And
this.
it doesn't go bad.
Why is gold valuable? First of
Because
all, why?
it like doesn't go bad like Island
You can-
Hermit
Yeah, it doesn't
says.
tarnish.
You can use it to make materials and stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like,
Same with
And
silver.
we've been
Yeah.
using gold and silver for thousands of years, so it's only natural it would just come back.
yeah, it will always be valuable to us. Yeah.
Gold only
Now,
has three
gold
uses.
has inherent value, but a banknote does not.
Right.
No, it doesn't.
So you're still operating with a value, with the barter and trade-based economy when you're exchanging items that have inherent value in them, right? That's the same as trading crop for livestock. Those two things have value to people. It's not a currency.
I mean, like even like water itself could be a currency. Like you could hand over like, yeah, here's like so many liters of water as change or whatever.
So yeah, I'm talking for those in the chat who were saying, yes, I'm talking about fiat currency.
Tobacco,
Right.
sugar. They're saying food will be money.
Cigarettes, I can
Salt,
definitely see
salt was
those.
salt was currency for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Salt is valuable. Yes, it is very valuable.
It helps you because salt costs very little to produce, and its value is in it helps food not spoil.
Yep. Preserve the meats.
Yeah, it preserves food. So it's a good thing to use as a currency because its value its worth is in the value you get in the future from it.
Like that's the thing. There's probably there would probably be several different accepted currencies. like you get
Well,
okay, like maybe silver or water or cigarettes or
You'd be able to
salt.
buy 10 cows with a pound of weed.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
weed
Post-
will be the top current. I will make weed the legal tender in my settlement.
So hey, I got one more question before we start heading out. So let's say the collapse, it started to die down, and then people got their communities and stuff. It's pretty much going back to the topic we were talking about before. We were starting to produce a Tim. What would be your most acceptable form of government, quarter like some along those lines? What would be your suggestion? the
Me as an
community.
absolute dictator. Get fucked.
Okay. And how can you become a dictator though? How would that work?
Tim's
well,
Legion.
if it's my settlement, remember,
Okay.
I'm the one who said that I'm heading out into the wilderness with people who must rely on me.
Right.
I am their messiah.
Okay.
There's Caesar.
So therefore, no, I'm not their Caesar. I am their messiah. Therefore, they cannot survive without me. Therefore, I am always their leader.
I see. So you're on that Negan shit?
Yeah, sure.
Similar to that.
And then I'll
because what he
implement white
says
Sharia.
goes. Huh?
Then I'll implement white Sharia.
Oh my god, that white Sharia shit. we gotta elaborate. We gotta elaborate on that one later. That's too fucking funny. Gray, you're next. What will be your most acceptable form of government in the new society?
Honestly, I'd probably go for some kind of republic where you
Okay.
have the citizens and the non-citizens, and the citizens are the ones who have votes weighted according to their contribution.
Okay, and not everybody's going to have some type of say, right?
No, that's the thing. Like, to be a citizen, you have to be like, you have to have a stake in the society. You have to be a contributor. You have to be sacrificing for it.
Okay, all right, I agree with that one. Special K, you're next.
What Gray said was pretty good. Like Republic, similar to Star Troopers, but
You sound far
besides
away.
that, you can't really trust people if they don't have stake in the place. Like you can't have democracy without people actually owning land. Like the Greeks, they didn't really have democracy as most countries do now. So it was like only people that owned land in Greece, well, people that could vote and so on. So having it voting to citizens and so on. But besides that, like I know it's going to start small, so it's probably going to be clans from the beginning, like small families that have grown up from that level. So yeah,
All right, I can agree with that. No disagreement so far. What about you, Ireland? What would be your view if you were that guy that's in charge of?
I'm gonna become the new Kim Jong Un. There will
Okay.
be stories about how I don't pee or poop.
I'm not surprised on it, Hermit.
I'm just kidding.
Descended from the gods.
Yeah, I am descended. There'll be stories. But did you hear? Lord Emperor Island Hermit doesn't pee or poop, and he can talk to dolphins.
But what's your actual? What would be ideal?
It'd probably be like what the other guy said, where like if you don't have any stakes in, like you can't vote or anything. Like what the fuck did TFM was talking about this? I can't remember what the fuck he called it.
So if you're not a soldier or
Yeah, if you weren't like a soldier or didn't contribute to society, you cannot vote. You don't have any stakes.
Okay. I agree with that. What about you, Ian? Got the same thing or something different?
I think I go back to pirate ship, where the captain is voted in by everyone on board, and if they do something wrong, they're removed. Everyone has a stake.
Even the women?
Yeah.
There's not usually any women on board who have anything to say.
So your community are just gonna be cruising in the seas?
Yeah.
Yar.
All right.
I mean, the original pirate crews, they were, escaped slaves, many of them white people, and Indians, right across the board. Bunch of maniacs. But they never took the... you could quite easily join the East India Company and become a slaver and make a lot of money. But the pirates said, nah, screw that. We're free.
Well, if I see a bunch of boats in the distance, then I'm gonna know it's you. Well, there goes Ian. He's just cruising, robbing people. Rishi,
Yo,
the collapse
Mine?
happens, everything dies down. All right, what's next? How are you gonna
Depends.
create your new community?
if it's just me,
No,
just me,
no. Well, you mean just you?
am I gonna be with the Warband or is it just me?
Oh, just you and a bunch of people, and they're like, all right, how are we gonna set this new community up?
Well, more than likely, if I'm gonna go full pragmatist Machiavellian mode, I would probably conquer the territory around me and take over other settlements. And then I'd say, join me or die.
He's
Through
spreading
total
his
force.
spores.
So you want to go full Genghis Khan?
Yep. And then I would ally with Tim's and Island Hermits communities. And we'd start taking territory together.
He's a Viking.
Until you become useful, until your usefulness runs out, and then I betray you. And
Yeah.
take
Or I
all your stuff.
betray you.
But you're gonna end up like Caesar,
like the
Julius Caesar, bro.
Yeah. And the last thing you will hear as I plunge the knife into your back is, "You're not a real mushroom."
You're acting like we'll be in the same place. Like we will be allies, but we will not be the same organization.
Well, one day you're gonna see your army in the distance, and you're like, "My time has come."
Yeah.
We are both leaders, but we are not the same.
You just see an army with flags that have mushrooms on them.
Your time has come.
This territory ain't big enough for the two of us.
We'll have
I
a showdown.
agree.
We'll have a duel.
Yeah, just have the armies watch. That'd be a pretty dope way to go out. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Like win or lose. I
A
think
duel with a mushroom.
We'd probably have like hopefully in the future we have like irradiated creatures we can fight against too. That'd be pretty cool.
But
Pokemon just become a thing.
We got grizzly bears up here. They're bad enough.
Binga binga.
They're
Yo.
like Bigfoots.
So, you heard the question that I asked?
Yeah, I've been listening. I really didn't get a chance to speak until now, so let me go ahead and say my piece before we leave.
All right,
So
but
if it was ever in my advantage, definitely would pull back when shit hits the fan. Get away from major cities, maybe wait a couple of years, and then during that time, I'll be amassing in my own tribe. And I'll build a rapport amongst the tribe, and I will lead it, and I will be on the front lines with them when I do my pillaging. I'm going to be like, but I won't be like Genghis Khan. I'll be more like Vlad the Impaler. So
I just have a bunch of dictators surrounding me. What the fuck?
Well,
yeah, well, that's the only thing
crossover,
that can get done around here. Obviously, government don't work.
obviously.
All right.
Well, you gotta understand.
Ancient people, man.
Well, you gotta understand that, like, in the collapse, you have to like be brutal when you set up your
Yeah,
society.
I understand. I'm not saying
The
don't be brutal.
the foundation of like a new society from like chaos is like blood.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't be brutal. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about when shit dies down and the communities are formed.
Well,
I'm not
Rishi
talking
would-
right away. Of course,
Yeah,
everybody's
There's
gonna
a-
be
like
going nuts, but I'm talking about when shit dies down and war isn't that prevalent anymore.
but what
There's a-
is Tim's gonna say? What are you gonna
Rishi
say?
would
Tim?
undermine my society by starting a movement called Shroom Lives Matter. And
Uh,
they'd march and be like, hands up, don't sploom.
I'll
I
go
would-
straight to Rishi's
I'd pay the
place
processors.
if you pull that bullshit. What is this Shroom's Lives Matter, sir? You motherfucker. Ready your
the first-
swords.
the first person that comes up to me in my society that's like, hey, maybe we should give women the right to vote is getting thrown right on a fucking stake for the whole village.
Nah, I'd put him in like
Pretty
the
much.
fighting pit and make him fight like a grizzly bear. Or
Nah,
something.
that's
Yeah.
too fast. You got to look up
That'd be
those
awesome.
old
Hold up,
medieval torture
everybody, 'cause
devices.
we're almost
Make an
out of
example.
time. Hold on. Finger Baker, can you continue?
Yeah, absolutely. Now that's basically the gist of it. I'm gonna have a really, really large bed because in that sense I will be Genghis Khan.
So you'll be a dictator. Finger Baker will be a chief, right? Because tribe.
Hey, that's cultural appropriation.
Oh my God, nobody cares.
Everyone has a try. Nobody cares.
Finger Baker, do you have a little bit of Native American in you?
I do a little bit.
All right,
I don't
it's
know how
not-
much though.
it's
I
not
don't know how much.
appropriation.
Yeah, I'm all kinds of cultures, man. I did some type of like DNA test and I don't know how legit it is. Like I've heard stories like it's bullshit, but I mean I don't know. I mean they said I got Hanwei Chinese in me, bro, like 3%. So I don't fucking
You
know.
didn't take the ancestry stuff.
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I
Oh, you
did.
did.
But again, so I'm like all kinds of shit. So nobody can call me racist. I'm one of everything. So I've got like the ultimate race card. Yeah, it's awesome.
So Finger Banger chief, Rishi dictator, Special K Republic, right?
No, fuck a republic. I said
What'd you say
tribe. I said I want a clan. I don't want a republic.
Man, my bad. Island Hermit dictator, a brutal one, and at that. Ian Blades, he's gonna be cruising the seven seas as a pirate. Gray Republic, right?
More or less, yeah.
And producer Tim, dictator.
Not just a dictator, the dictator.
Oh my
The
God.
Messiah.
You're gonna have to kill Tim.
The
The
Messiah.
chosen one.
The Pharaoh next? Like, what's
the
up?
equivalent of Xerxes.
I would say we are like the I don't know how to say it. Like the words, they're on the tip of my tongue. I just don't know how to say it. It's
The
like
God
a race
King.
that is better than all other races.
So
The
producer
God
Tim
Emperor
is gonna be Kanye West, but a million times worse.
Yes.
I'm God.
And with 50% less urine.
Oh my fucking God. Hey, y'all got some interesting points during the collapse. So I gotta deal with hundreds of mini dictators when that happens. Okay. It's cool.
It's funny because we all want to be dictators, and yet like none of us will succeed. We'll all be dead in the first 6 months.
Yep.
Let's face
Everybody
it.
wants to be
that's
a
true.
dictator, but Tim proclaimed himself as the dictator.
I'm
Yep.
fine being on
Which means I die first.
Pretty much just matters how brutal you're willing to get. Like, if you're willing to get like straight up Negan, then you'll probably be all right.
Well,
All right.
I see it practically because I'd go for the Republic option because I really don't think I'm charismatic enough to hold a large settlement together. So
I just start swinging the bat.
What if someone swings a bat harder than you?
Then I just pull out my Glock.
What if they have an AR?
I'll just call him a witch.
Burn that guy. He's a witch. So yeah, you would be a dictator too.
Listen, hey, I ain't gonna be beat at my own game.
I love what was that comment from Feral Rabbit? Yeah. Rishi would have peaceful protesters go into Yeetus' settlement, burn it down while yelling, "No shrooms, no peace."
I won't be mad. I'll be straight up disappointed.
They would loot all the liquor stores in Sir Yeetus' fucking area.
That's war. That's war. You motherfucker.
no,
That's
legit.
a war we can
Actually, that
win.
reminds me. There's
All because a skeleton put his knee on a mushroom's neck.
Yes.
How long gonna spread these lies?
no,
This how it's gonna be during the collapse. Instead of the George Floyd,
That
Lord,
poor
it'll just be
mushroom.
a skeleton and a
He
mushroom.
couldn't breathe.
Oh, you motherfucker.
I can't sploom.
So what if he was on
Yes,
17 different
Hey.
drugs? That skeleton killed him.
Man, let's keep it real. You know, we should make the Warband a religion. But hey, we gotta head out right now. Producer Tim, show your channel.
Yes, you can find us MGTOWN Podcast, MIGTOWN, here on YouTube.
Island Herman, show your channel.
Island Hermit RP3. Go check it out, guys.
And I think nobody else has, you know, a YouTube channel per se. So
yeah, Rishi doesn't have a channel.
Yeah, I don't have a
Hey.
channel, bro. I'm
Thinking about
opposed to
well, Rishi, are you still trying to hit 500?
that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, go subscribe to Rishi's channel. You know how to find his channel.
Yeah,
Come
go
on,
sub
he's
to
been doing
Rishi.
Actually, it's kind of hard to find his channel.
Rishi's oppressed. Go sub.
It's
that.
hard
If
to
you do
find his
that,
channel.
you're not sub to me anymore.
Shroom
The
lives
skeletons are
matter.
holding
He's
down.
upset. You oppressing my boy Rishi? Get the fuck out of my YouTube channel.
Oppressing.
But
You're
hey,
oppressing
peace out,
me.
y'all. Thank you for joining this chill stream. It got out of control, but it was a great conversation. Amazing conversation. Everybody in the chat right now. Everybody in the chat right now. Go to Undead Chronics live stream. Supposedly he's going to be debating a hater, so it's going to be a good one.
That's rare.
Hopefully.
But
So
first, spam Shroom Lives Matter in this stream.
no, do not.
Yes, yes,
Nope,
yes.
nope.
True,
Thank you
nice
for
man.
joining my live stream. This is Sarah Yeetus.
Everyone
I
chant.
hope you guys
True
had your daily
lives
dose of
matter.
red pills.
True
I am
lives
out.
matter.
Peace.
True lives
matter.
Peace.
True lives
Peace. Get out of
matter.
here.
Go
Get out
Justin,
of
go
here.
peace.
You heathens.
Yeah.